Good morning, dear students. Today I will discuss about thermodynamics. So thermodynamics deals with interconversion of various forms of energies. Interconversion of various forms of energies. So mainly in this chapter we will discuss about heat transformation. So we will discuss about chemical thermodynamics. In chemical thermodynamics, mainly we will discuss how much amount of heat released or absorbed in a chemical reactions. So now what are the limitations of this thermodynamics? So it deals with the macroscopic properties of matter. Macroscopic means pressure, volume, temperature. So those are macroscopic properties. Microscopic properties means bond length, bond angle, and these properties are microscopic properties. Thermodynamics won't deal with those properties, only macroscopic properties. Next, by thermodynamic principles, we'll come to know whether reaction is feasible or not, whether the process is feasible or not. Means this thermodynamics explain feasibility of the process. What is feasibility? Feasibility means suppose there is a reaction or gives products at a given set of conditions of temperature, volume or pressure, whether this reaction takes place or not. That is nothing but feasibility. That can be explained by thermodynamics. And it could not explain rate of reaction, means thermodynamics won't tell speed of the reaction, that is nothing but rate of reaction. It won't tell about mechanism of the reaction. So reactions are different types: nucleophilic substitution, electrophilic substitution, SN1, SN2. This and all not done by thermodynamics. So whether reaction takes place or not at a given set of conditions, that information given by thermodynamics. It won't give any information about mechanism, or it won't give any information about speed. So this is about a simple introduction about thermodynamics. Next, some important terminology in this chapter: system, surroundings, boundary. Suppose this is the process, thermodynamic process, that is boiling of water. So we are boiling water. So here in this system is water. What is system? The part of the universe which is under thermodynamic investigation is called as system. So here we are studying about water. So that's why here water is our system. Next, surroundings. Other than system, remaining part of the universe generally called as surroundings. So all these are surroundings. Next, boundary. What is boundary? So boundary means an imaginary or a real line which separate system and surroundings is called as boundary. Here walls of the beaker, this walls of the beaker is called as boundary. So boundaries are generally two types: real boundaries, imaginary boundaries. So real boundaries means here walls of the beaker. Suppose if you take top layer and this top layer of water, and surroundings means you can say outside the gas. So these two can be separate, means surroundings and top of the water layer separated by an imaginary line. So this is imaginary boundary, it's not real boundary. Next, types of systems. So we have different types of systems: open system, closed system, isolated system. So what is open system? Mass and energy can exchange during the thermodynamic process, means the system said to be open system. Mass cannot exchange, only energy can exchange, means that is closed system. Mass, energy, both cannot be exchanged, means that is isolated system. So for open system, you can take boiling of water in open vessel. So when we are boiling water in open vessel, which contains thermal walls, means heat can exchange through boundaries. So when we are using open vessel, some mass can enter into surroundings, means some water vapor will enter into surroundings, and energy can exchange and heat also transfer to surroundings. So that's why boiling of water in open vessel is example for open system. What is closed system? Same boiling of water in a closed vessel. So in a closed vessel, your boiling means heat can exchange, means energy can exchange, but mass cannot exchange. So that is a closed one. Isolated means the best example is thermoflask. Suppose if there is an ideal thermoflask, if you keep some hot substance or cold substance in the thermoflask, so there is no heat transfer between system and surroundings, as well as mass cannot transfer. Such type of systems are called as isolated systems: open, closed, and isolated. Next, what is state of system? State of system means conditions of existence of a system, nothing but state of system. Suppose there is a water in a beaker. So if I ask what is the state of the water means, so we should express state of the water in terms of the conditions of existence, means what is the temperature of water, what is the volume of water, what is the pressure of water. Like that you have to express about state of system. So now, so this is a state 1. So at state 1, water has temperature 25 degrees and volume is 1000 ml. So we are boiling. So this is a movable piston, this is a movable piston, and we are boiling the water, and temperature reaches 100 degrees Celsius. So it is movable piston, means due to water vapor, piston moves up direction, so volume may increase, that is 1500 ml. So this is state 1, this is state 2. Means state of system changed from one state to another state. How can you say state of system is changed? Because those properties changed, temperature and volume changed. So conditions of existence of system, nothing but state of system. If those conditions changes, means we can say system is changed from one state to another state. Next, state functions, path functions. So state functions means properties of system. Those values depends on only state, that is initial and final states, are called as state functions. Pressure, volume, temperature, delta U, delta H, delta S, delta G, and potential energy are examples for state functions. So these delta U, change in internal energy, change in enthalpy, change in entropy, change in Gibbs free energy. So very important thermodynamic properties. And path functions. What are path functions? Values depends on the path of the process, called as path functions. So path functions example, work and heat. So I'll give a simple example to understand what is state function and path function. So for example, so one stone at the ground level has a specific potential energy. Suppose I'm taking the stone and going to the top of the building, and I will keep the stone there. Then that stone has some potential energy at the top of the building. It is more than ground level. Now here the thing is, I will carry the stone in two ways. First time I will take the stone and I will go to the top of the building through lift. First time. Second time I will take the stone and I will go to the top of the building through steps. By walking I will go. So now potential energy of the stone at the top of the building is not depends on the path chosen by me, whether I am going through lift or whether I am going through steps. It doesn't matter. Potential energy of the stone is constant at that point. Means the potential energy of the stone depends on state. It does not depends on path. So potential energy we can say state function. But the work done in this process, if I go through lift, the work done by my legs is less. If I go through steps, the work done by my legs is more. So here work is path function and potential energy is state function. So I hope you understood what is state function and path function. Next, thermodynamic properties. So thermodynamic properties mainly divided into extensive properties, intensive properties. So extensive properties means depends on amount of substance. So example, mass, volume, all thermodynamic properties are extensive properties. These properties will depend on amount of substance present in it. More amount means more mass, more volume, like that. Intensive properties means do not depends on amount of substance. So example, temperature, pressure, viscosity, density. Say density, suppose if I take a glass of water or a bucket of water. So density of water in both cases, that is 1 gram per ml if it is pure water. So it does not depends on quantity. So such type of properties are called as intensive properties. Here one important point, that is extensive property by extensive property will give intensive property. Suppose density, density, mass by volume. Here mass is extensive property, volume also extensive property. So two extensive properties ratio always intensive property. Next, thermodynamic process. So there are different processes: isothermal, isobaric, isochoric, adiabatic and cyclic. So this classification depends on conditions of temperature, pressure, volume. And another classification, reversible process, irreversible process. This classification depends on the manner through which process is going on, how process is going on. Now isothermal means constant temperature. That's why change in temperature is 0. Isobaric process means process takes place at constant pressure. So change in pressure is 0. Isochoric means change in volume is 0. Adiabatic means there is no exchange of heat energy during the process between system and surroundings. That process is called as adiabatic process. Generally, adiabatic process takes place in isolated systems because no exchange of heat. Next, cyclic process. Cyclic process means one system will start from its initial state and go to different states and finally comes to its original state, initial state. This type of process is called a cyclic process. In any cyclic process, change in internal energy, change in enthalpy equal to 0. So all state functions, change in all state functions equal to 0 because in this cyclic process, initial state equal to final state. Next, what are reversible and irreversible process? So reversible and irreversible process. Reversible process means it takes place very slowly and takes infinite time, and there is an equilibrium between each and every step. So straightforward manner, it is slow process and pressure is not constant. Remember, in this process pressure is not constant. Irreversible process means It is a fast process, takes place in single step, and pressure is constant. So it is a fast process, so pressure is constant. And work done in reversible process is maximum, work done in irreversible process is minimum. Next, what is work and heat? So work and heat both are forms of energy. So generally, one system is changing from one state to another state means, so there is a energy transfer. That energy transfer takes place either in the form of work or heat. Generally, work done on the system, W equal to positive. Work done by the system, W equal to negative. Heat gained by system, Q equal to positive. Heat lost by system, Q equal to negative. These are the sign conventions we are going to use in numericals. See here, these signs are different in case of physics. Don't confuse here. So W equal to positive when work done on the system, negative when work done by the system. Similarly, gain means Q equal to positive, heat lost means Q equal to negative. Next, first law of thermodynamics. So here there is a system at state 1, its internal energy is U1. Internal energy is a combination of different forms of energy. Absolute internal energy cannot be calculated, but change in internal energy during the process we can. What is the process? Change in the system from state 1 to state 2 is the process. So here Q amount of heat we are supplying, W amount of work is done on the system. So now final internal energy equal to U1 plus Q plus W we can write. So delta U equal to Q plus W. So according to first law of thermodynamics, delta U equal to Q plus W. So we can write one more term, that is a change in enthalpy. See, change in internal energy gives information about heat transfer during the process, means heat energy involved in the process at constant volume. Same heat energy involved in the process at constant pressure expressed in terms of change in enthalpy, that is delta H. Here delta H equal to delta U plus P delta V. Also we can write delta H equal to delta U plus delta nRT, because you know PV equal to nRT. So P delta V we can write delta nRT. What is delta N here? That is the number of gaseous products minus number of gaseous reactants. Number of moles of products minus number of moles of reactants in a given reaction is delta N. Next, what is heat capacity? Heat capacity means, suppose there is a substance, so we are giving heat energy to this substance. If I give heat energy to this substance, suppose initially there is a T1 Kelvin temperature. After giving heat energy, it will go to T2 Kelvin, means temperature increases. So any substance you are supplying heat energy means temperature increases. So heat capacity means how much amount of heat energy required to raise the temperature of substance by 1 degree Celsius or 1 Kelvin is called as heat capacity. So generally formula for heat capacity is Q equal to ms delta T. Here m is mass of substance, S is specific heat capacity, delta T is change in temperature, and Q Nc delta T. One more formula. Here N is moles of substance, C is molar heat capacity, delta T is change in temperature. So here molar heat capacity we can write a specific heat capacity into its molecular weight, substance molecular weight. And molar heat capacity is two types. One is molar heat capacity at constant volume, another one is molar heat capacity at constant pressure. So du by dt, this is a dH by dt. Cp minus Cv equal to R. Heat of reaction. What is heat of reaction? Energy changes involved in reaction is called as heat of reaction. It is represented with the delta H. If you use delta H naught, that is standard conditions. So it may be plus or minus. Plus means endothermic process, minus means exothermic process. So this is the reaction. So we can calculate this heat of reaction delta R H naught in different ways. The first one is by using enthalpies of products and reactants. You can calculate summation of enthalpies of all products minus summation of enthalpies of all reactant gives heat of reaction. One more, heat of reaction we can calculate by using bond energies of reactants and products. So here summation of bond energies of reactants, remember this is reactants, minus summation of bond energies of products. Next, we can also calculate heat of reaction by using heat of formation of products and heat of formation of reactant values. So this is the formula. So heat of reaction means amount of heat energy involved in the reaction. Reactions are different types. So reaction may be combustion, reaction may be neutralization, so reaction may be formation, whatever the reaction, atomization, so like that. So different reactions having different symbols. Suppose heat of formation means delta F H naught, heat of combustion means delta C H naught, so like that you will get. So during solving problems you can understand all these terms. Next, entropy. So entropy means it explains spontaneity of the process. So you can say randomness of the system, nothing but entropy. Delta S equal to Q by T, this is a mathematical expression for entropy. So according to first law of thermodynamics, when delta U equal to 0, then Q equal to minus W. So Q equal to minus W means instead of Q you can substitute a W. So here in case of a reversible process, work equal to 2.303 nRT log V2 by V1. A minute, right. W reversible, in reversible process W value equal to minus 2.303 nRT log V2 by V1. Also we can write minus 2.303 nRT log P1 by P2, because for isothermal reversible process P1 by P2 equal to V2 by V1. You have to remember this formula to calculate work done by the system, generally gas, in isothermal reversible process. So according to first law of thermodynamics, you know delta U equal to Q plus W. When delta U equal to 0, we can write Q equal to minus W. So in that formula, instead of Q, we can substitute minus W. So if I substitute minus W, then you will get the formula like this. So instead of Q, we can substitute W, work formula. So 2.303. So minus will cancel. So here minus, already in work formula there is a minus will cancel. So 2.303 nRT. Here N is suppose if you take 1 mole, so we can take 1 RT. The T and this denominator T will cancel. So R log V2 by V1 you will get. So this is one formula to calculate change in entropy. Another formula in terms of pressure. Next, Gibbs energy. So last thermodynamic property, that is delta G equal to delta H minus T delta S. So if delta G is negative, then the process is spontaneous. If delta G is positive, the process is non-spontaneous. If delta G equal to 0, the process at equilibrium. Then delta G, one more formula in terms of electrode potential, that is minus NF E cell. And another formula, delta G naught equal to minus 2.303 RT log K. This is equilibrium constant. These are the important formulas in thermodynamics. So now we will see some problems, so we'll get clarity on the remaining concepts also. So now if you see this problem, the enthalpy of formation of ammonia is minus 46.0 kilojoule mole inverse. The enthalpy change for the reaction. So they given enthalpy of formation of ammonia. They are asking the enthalpy change for the reaction. So now formation of ammonia means we can write like this: N2 plus 3H2 gives 2NH3. So this is 2 moles actually. Formation always you have to consider for 1 mole. 1 mole means this is by 2, this is by 2, here also by 2. So this value they given H naught. How much given? Minus 46.0 kilojoules they given. What they are asking, the reaction they given like this: NH3 plus NH3 gives N2 plus 3H2. For this reaction they are asking delta RH naught. So now from this reaction we can calculate delta RH naught for the given reaction. So now if you observe this reaction, this is first reaction, this is suppose second reaction. What is the difference between first and second reaction? To get second reaction from first reaction, what we have to do? We have to reverse the reaction first, and you have to multiply with 2. Correct? And we have to reverse it, and we have to multiply with 2. So when we are reversing, this delta of H naught value becomes positive. So 46.0, and we are multiplying with 2. That's why 46 into 2. How much? 92 is the answer. So for first question, 92 is the answer. So 92, that is positive because we are reversing the reaction. So very simple. You can use all thermodynamic or all thermochemical equations like mathematical equations. You can use all mathematical operations on thermochemical equations to get answer. Next, for which of the following reaction delta H is equal to delta U? So you know relation between delta H and delta U. What is delta H delta U relation? Delta H equal to delta U plus delta nRT. So delta nRT, delta N means what? Number of gaseous products minus number of gaseous reactants. Suppose delta N is 0 means then delta H equal to delta U. When delta N will become 0, so delta N means number of gaseous products minus number of gaseous reactants. If gaseous products, gaseous reactants same means, then for that reaction delta N is 0. When delta N is 0 means delta H equal to delta U. So you check all the reactions and find delta N values. Here first reaction, how many gaseous reactants? 1 mole plus 3 moles, 4 moles, and product side 2 moles. So here 2 moles, here 4 moles, delta N is not 0. Here second reaction, you see So here 1 mole and product side 2 moles. So not same. And in third reaction we check, and here 2 moles, 3 moles, total 5 moles gaseous reactants, and this side this is liquid, you just leave it, and only 2 moles gaseous products. So this is also delta n not equal to 0. And this is the last one. This is the answer. See, carbon solid, just leave it. Only we have to consider gaseous reactants and products. One gaseous reactant, product side, one gaseous product. So delta n equal to 0. Fourth option is correct. Next, the maximum work obtained by an isothermal reversible expansion of 1 mole of an ideal gas at 27 degrees Celsius from 2.24 liters to 22.4 liters is. So maximum work obtained by an isothermal reversible process, reversible expansion. So for isothermal reversible expansion, what is the formula? W equal to minus 2.303 nRT log V2 by V1. So here the question is related to work done by the system. So when we are taking work done by the system, you can take directly. Sorry, here let me see question once. Expansion. Expansion means work done by the system. Work done by the system means you will get a negative sign for W. So to get negative sign for the W, so here in this we have given positive, actually negative you have to take. Work done by the system. So here the mistake, minus nRT ln. Ln means 2.303 log. So if you substitute the given values, how many moles given? 1 mole given. R value how much given? 2 calories given in brackets. And temperature how much given? 300 Kelvin. So 2.303 log. Final volume is 22.4. Initial volume is 2.4. So now answer is 1381.8 calories. Here sign is very, very important in thermodynamic problems, because in options they will give same numerical value with two signs, positive as well as negative signs. Next, this question, heat of neutralization of oxalic acid is minus 53.35 kilojoule mole inverse using NaOH. Hence delta H of H2C2O4 gives C2O4 2 plus 2H plus. So now we need small concept. Let me explain concept. See, in case of neutralization reactions, a strong acid and a strong base, if they react and neutralize, so you will get a delta H value, heat of neutralization value, 57.2 kilojoule per mole. So minus you can say, because neutralization reactions are exothermic reactions, or minus 13.7 kilocalorie per mole. So in terms of calories, in terms of joules, minus 57.2 or minus 13.7 if the acid or bases are strong. Other than this combination, means weak acid, strong base, strong acid, weak base, or weak acid, weak base, delta H value is, you will get less than these values. Delta H less than, in other cases, in all other cases, delta H value is less than 57.2. Why you are getting less than 57.2 means, the remaining value, suppose you are getting in that given question, they given 53.3. So means how much variation? I think this is 3.9 is the variation. So this 3.9 kilojoules energy used to ionize the weak substance. In the given question, the weak substance is oxalic acid. So this 3.9 kilojoules energy used to ionize the oxalic acid. So come to the question. Here this is oxalic acid ionization. So according to our question of H2C2O4 plus NaOH gives neutralization. So delta H value is minus 53.35. So how much less 3.9? That 3.9 to neutralize, to ionize, the 3.9, the variation between this value and 57.2 is 3.9. That 3.9 kilojoules used to ionize this half mole of H2C2O4. So half mole of H2C2O4 gives 1 H plus half mole of C2O4 2 minus. So for this, how much? Delta H is minus 3.9 energy. But they are asking for 1 mole, means H2C2O4 gives 2H plus C2O4 2 minus, means double than this value. So minus 3.9 into 2 is our answer. So that is, I think 7.8 will get. So I think plus 7 point you will get, because process is reverse. Ionization means always energy is required, remember. Yeah, 7.9 is our answer. Next, so they given formation values for CO2, CO, H2O, and they are asking the standard enthalpy change in kilojoules for the reaction. They given this reaction. Heat of reaction they are asking for this, delta R H naught they are asking. So how to calculate delta R H naught when formation value is given? I have given formula. Formation of products minus formation of reactants. So formation of products minus formation of reactants. If you do, you will get answer for this. So now formation values given, they are asking standard enthalpy of reaction. So different methods you can use. So they have taken formation equations. This is a carbon dioxide formation equation. This is carbon monoxide formation equation. This is a H2O formation equation. And they are asking this reaction. Suppose this is our required reaction. How to get our required reaction from the above 3 equations? So that is 2 and 3 and subtract 1. Means 2 and 3 you add and subtract equation 1. So 2 plus 3 minus 1. If you do, you will get our required equation same thing you have to apply, same mathematical operation you have to apply for delta H values also. So you will get answer 41.2 kilojoule mole inverse. So next question. So here in this question they given bond energies of hydrogen, hydrogen, chlorine, chlorine, and they are asking delta HF for HCl. Sorry, they given delta HF for HCl also. Then bond enthalpy of HCl they are asking. Bond enthalpy of HCl. So now bond energy is given HHClCl, and the formation of HCl given. They are asking bond enthalpy of HCl. So now how to solve this problem? So now if you write formation of HCl equation, that is half H2 plus half Cl2 gives 2 HCl. Here 2 HCl they given wrong actually. This is 1 HCl. So this is 1 mole HCl. So in this reaction delta F H naught they given formation value. How much given? Formation value they given minus 90 kilojoule mole inverse. This is minus 90 kilojoule mole inverse given. So when they given minus 90 kilojoule mole inverse, so we can take that value minus 90. Okay. Now here delta F H naught, or we can take delta R H naught also. This is a delta H. We can write half into bond energy of reactants, that is HH, and half into bond energy of ClCl minus bond energy of HCl. So this value they given minus 90. So if you substitute remaining values, then you will get bond energy of HCl. So that is 425 kilojoule mole inverse. Next, after 38th problem, 59th problem. So in this problem, H2O liquid at 1 bar pressure 373 Kelvin converted into H2O gas. So pressure remains same, temperature also remains same. The correct statement of thermodynamic parameters is, see, in this process H2O liquid converted into H2O gas. This is just a phase transformation. Phase transformation means delta G equal to 0. For phase transformations, remember delta G equal to 0. Next, here liquid state converted into gaseous state means no doubt entropy increases. Randomness increases from liquid to gas, that's why delta S is positive. So delta G is negative, delta S is positive. First option is correct one. Next, 18 grams of ice is converted into water at 0 degree Celsius and 1 atmosphere. The entropy of H2O solid and H2O liquid are 38.2 and 60 joule mole Kelvin. The enthalpy change for this conversion is, enthalpy change they are asking, entropy changes they given. How much quantity they given? 18 grams of ice they given. So now this is the formula. At formula delta S equal to Q reversible by T. Instead of Q you are taking delta H, you will get delta H equal to T delta S. Then the process is H2O converted into H2O liquid. So for this process delta S value equal to SH2O liquid minus SH2O solid, you will get 21.8 kilojoules. So then delta S we know, temperature is 273 Kelvin. So we will get delta H equal to 5951.4 joule mole inverse. So the equilibrium exists between equilibrium at 0 degree Celsius. So 273 Kelvin, 0 degree Celsius means. Next problem. The direct conversion of A to B is difficult, hence it is carried out as A to C, C to D, D to B. Given delta S A to C is 50 EU, this EU is unit of entropy. Delta S is C to D 30 EU and delta S is B to D, that is 20 EU. So thus change in entropy in A gives B. So see delta S equal to the given A gives, B gives, C gives, D. So this is direct, C, D, this is a D, this is a D and this is a B. Suppose this is direct conversion delta S. Same conversion takes place in steps. This is a S1, this is a S2, this is a S3. So delta S equal to, we can write S1 plus S2 plus S3. So what is S1? S1 means A to B. S2 means B to D. S3 means D to B. So here S1 value how much given? So now if you see question, all values they given. A to C given, C to D given, B to D given. Here instead of giving D to B, instead of giving D to B, B to D given, reverse given. So when they given reverse B to D, if you take D to B, it will become minus 20. So if you substitute, you will get answer. So now this is the formula delta S A to B, nothing but delta S A to C, delta S C to D, delta S D to B. This is not B to D, this is D to B. So 50 given this one, 30 given C to D, and D to B to D 20 given, D to B 20 given. We want, this is D to B, they given 20, we want B to D, so minus 20. B to D, no. So actually they given B to D, they given plus 20. We want D to B, this is minus 20. So if you substitute this, you will get answer 60. Next question. The values of delta H and delta S for 5 different reactions are given below. On the basis of these values, predict which one of these will be spontaneous at all temperatures. So the final conclusion for spontaneity is delta G must be negative. So delta G equal to delta H minus T delta S. When this delta G will be always negative, if delta H is negative, and if delta S is positive, then delta G will be always negative irrespective of temperature. So now what condition is satisfying this? Delta H must be negative and delta S should be positive. Positive, positive, negative, negative, positive, negative, negative, positive. So fourth option. So reaction 4 is answer. Next, a cylinder of gas supplied by Bharat Petroleum is assumed to contain 14 kg of butane. A normal family requires 20,000 kilojoules of energy per day for cooking. Butane gas in the cylinder lasts for how many days? So now here combustion of butane they given, it gives this much kilojoules per mole. We have to calculate how many days that cylinder will be useful for cooking. So now how much quantity of butane gas they given? 14 kg. So according to this heat of combustion, per mole of butane gives this much energy. Then 14 kg of butane gives how much energy if you calculate. Then from the total energy you can calculate number of days because per day they given. So this is the answer. Calorific value of butane. Calorific value means amount of heat energy released when 1 gram of substance on complete combustion. So for 1 mole they given 2658. So per gram means by its molecular weight, butane molecular weight, that is 58. If you see, you will get 45.8 kilojoule per gram. So cylinder consists of 14 kg means 14,000 grams. Per gram 48.8 kilojoules means then 14,000 grams you will get 6,41,200 kilojoules energy. This is the total energy from the cylinder. Family need 20 kilojoules per day. Then number of days, nothing but total energy available and energy per day. So total energy available by energy per day gives total number of days. So that cylinder will be available means it gives energy for 32 days. So these are some important models from thermodynamics. Thank you.